Hello and welcome one and all. I am Joshua McGee, your Dungeon Master and Story Weaver. You are listening to Venture into Vimuros, an Ampersandbox production. All of us here would like to thank all of you there for showing your support by listening to this podcast and following us on our socials such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and our YouTube is popping off as well. We like to see you guys in here. We want to thank all of you who are sharing this in any way, shape, or form, helping grow Ampersandbox as a community. Today's episode is called Good Mourning, and that morning is spelled with a U because Akiri is taking the loss of Reginald pretty hard. An otherwise ordinary start of a day until a friend of a friend arrives with news. I can't read my script. Anyways, get ready. It is time to venture into Vimuros. As the sun begins to rise, you guys do not catch any glimpse of the sun immediately, but you do start to hear movement above ground, on ground level above you, as the other clergymen begin to wake up and start their morning routines.
Awesome. Does Idris do that every morning? Is that how Idris wakes up?
Yes! Yes, I do. And then I do my morning stretches.
So Josiah just roll over and he wakes up with Idris and King Cobra pose.
Oh yeah.
Snake yoga?
Yeah.
You just see Idris's head pop up next to the bed.
The latch opens in the corner of the room. Nobody pokes their head in. Nobody comes down the ladder. Breakfast! And then the hatch stays open, and you hear the footsteps go away.
I think Josiah and Idris kind of lock eyes for an uncomfortable amount of time as Idris is doing that snake yoga, and then Josiah just kind of shakes it off. Ugh. Gets up and walks over to get breakfast.
Idris is way more flexible than they look. They just kind of walk with a hunch most of the time, but when they're doing yoga, full pretzel.
Yeah, it just something about the contortion. Josiah didn't like it.
As you guys go to walk past my bunk, I'm gonna be like,
Watch your step. I didn't really know what to do with the putrid, and I guess it kind of timed out on us. He's just kind of loose all over the floor.
Wait, he didn't disappear or anything.
No, it's just where it was like a kind of put together blob. Now the spell is over, and it's just kind of like a puddle of gross all over the floor. So you see Sanag, he's almost X pattern, standing over the the puddle, trying to get you guys to go around.
Just ignore it. Somebody else might clean it up. I'm just gonna leave it here. Let's go get breakfast.
And he's gonna rush over to awkwardly widely step over the puddle and rush up the ladder.
Josiah's gonna follow suit.
As you guys exit this latch here, the underground bunker that you were sleeping in, the sun is a bit brighter than usual, it seems, because it's the first time you've slept in total darkness or spent long amounts of time underground for a while. The sun shines very bright. Yeah, I was going to say, Zanog, it's a familiar feeling.
A walk in the park.
Yeah, as you see the sun this bright again, or, the transition anyways, tell us how you felt the day you left prison, Zanog.
Yeah, I was away for a long time. And, everything changed around me, kind of, in that moment, in a split second, right? I went in one way and came out another.
Very true. So at this bright early morning, those memories tickle your mind. A clergyman waiting at the door begins to lead you guys to the kitchen, which is just across the path here. There's about 30 people in line to the kitchen here.
The line's out the can.
Yeah. You get served a cafeteria-style breakfast, like eggs from a bag, very, very thin bacon, all the... This is, to Josiah, you've had enough, MREs and
yeah,
government-issued rations. You're like, yes, the usual, which is also the only option. Josiah, as you serve this breakfast, give us a memory. Actually, your first boring meal.
Yeah, I think that this would have been a little bit after he became of age to join the military, and I think that what Josiah would be seeing as this meal is being given to him is a flashback to sitting in a stone hall with just hundreds of other soldiers, like a cafeteria style like stone hall, bunch of other soldiers, and getting his food and being excited. This is the first time that he's had a solid meal. He knows where his meal is coming from, you know. Like it's the structure that he's never had that he always wanted. So I think that there's a little bit of like, you know, that nervous excitement you get when you're going somewhere new, like when you're going out of town or something, and you're gonna like say like you're going on vacation, you're gonna eat new food, new places, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I'm also real excited to eat this, you know.
Nice.
I think it's a little bit of that same kind of like nervous excitement that he feels every time he eats stuff like this, remembering like the stability that the military brought him.
Yeah, so you are each all served this breakfast. There's some outdoor seating up to the northwest here, and the monastery itself could be used for indoor seating. You guys take your plates and you begin walking. You see plenty of people are grouping together in their own little cliques and stuff and having small talk, small conversation, like the different energy levels of people ready for their days. Everybody's in a overall bright mood. Idris, when was the last time you've seen fellowship of this kind?
Where Idris comes from, there's a different kind of fellowship. So it's definitely interesting to see the disorder of fellowship here, which is a little off-putting for Idris, considering where they come from. Almost militaristic or cult-like rank and file about whom talks with who, where they position themselves. So Idris is a little uncomfortable with their body, how they carry themselves, and is actually kind of, as they look at the plate in front of them of the bag eggs and frozen meats options, they're actually instinctually looking around for any small animal that they can find.
I would say that you encourage you to take the outdoor seating.
Right.
Yeah.
Direct the party this way. Like, let's stay outside, just enjoy this fresh air. You do see Akiri begins to approach. Akiri was the half-elf that got his feelings. Yeah, got his feelings hurt. He begins.
Just I hurt his feelers.
I didn't describe this last time. I said half-elf, but the other half is rabbit folk, or whatever they're called here in 5e.
Herengar.
Herengar. So yes, it's a half-elf, half-Herengar. And they have floppy bunny ears, and very skinny and tall. Their knees are almost always bent slightly. He begins to approach his regular breakfast spot. Seeing you guys take seats, he takes a deep breath and turns around.
Hey, elf!
Yes.
Come sit down over here. Come on.
I am trying to practice joy.
Oh, you need to also practice sorrow. Now come sit down.
That is not in our message.
That's all right. It's in my message.
I do not abide by your message.
It was good enough for one of your other brothers. Now come on, come hang out.
I gotta say, if you're gonna practice joy, you should probably do some deeper thinking on yourself as well.
I will join you.
That's the spirit.
So Akiri will sit around the fire with you guys, cast Prestidigitation, and gets that fire going.
I'm gonna be loudly slurping on the bagged eggs.
I spent half my night meditating on the events that had occurred. My accent is not stable.
It's not. Not at all.
So, forgive me if I am not well rested.
I don't know where to place this guy.
Well,
Russian, Scott, Irish.
He's
Perfect.
Akiri.
I think that Josiah. I think that now, having rested and feeling like he feels great today. This is the best he's felt in months. I think he feels a little bit bad for Akiri, but not a ton, because he's also like, he's lost a lot of people. He's lost a lot of best friends over the years. It's part of living in the military and being a soldier. So I think that maybe he'll, as he's eating his food, he's like points his utensil out and just, Akiri, is this the first time you've lost someone?
In life, friends come and go. Family passes. Loved ones gained, loved ones lost. For me, I saw Reginald as My father, although not biologically related, he was very much there for me in all of my times of need.
Josiah he feels that on a fairly deep level. I mean, he's lost father-ish figures throughout his life, never really had specifically a father figure. I think he understands the pain, and he's gonna keep eating his food, and just like through bites of food, just, you know, it's a lot easier to accept joy when you accept the pain first. Once you've processed the pain and you grieve, it's a lot easier to accept that someone's gone. And every day it's gonna hurt a little less. And he's not really like looking up at them. He's just eating their food.
Who have you lost?
Well, I lost friends. I've lost basic family. You know, don't really have great family ties. I've lost pretty much family. And I've lost someone very important to me recently. So, speaking from experience, the sooner you accept this, the faster you'll be able to process the pain, and the less it will hurt. And he'll go back to eating a little bit more.
I accept your words, halfling. However, how can you wake up each day and continue your duties? How can you let it leave your mind for even a moment to focus on what's in front of you?
You know, that's the worst part. It doesn't leave. You just learn to have a new normal. Because would they want you to stop performing your duties? Would Reginald want you to mope around this monastery every day of your life? Would he want you to sulk in your room upset? Maybe for a few days it'd probably feel good, it's a little bit of pride. I'd like Zanog here to, you know, maybe at least one tear if I died before he resurrects me as a pile of bones or putrid. But, you know, at least one tear.
I can't resurrect you as a putrid.
You know, I kind of appreciate that, Zanog. I'm kind of glad about that. But I hope the sentiment's coming through that you still have your duty. You have a job. You've got to do your job every day. And it gets easier and easier every day.
If I could add, I wasn't even around when my parents passed. I don't know what happened to them. They could have died of old age, something could have came through the village and wiped them all out. You were here when Reginald turned into that nasty, corrupted monster that we had to put down. You could think of it as some sort of sixth sense of closure, I guess.
Hard to say which situation is more preferred.
As the murmuring of all the non-snake creatures around me is talking about something and one person is sliding in and out of an accent, Idris is sitting in front of a fire on a log as I see a frog on a log in the distance, displeased with the food that's in front of them, and just throw a dagger through the group at the frog. As they go, "Stop!" Idris would stand up, put their plate down on the log next to them. Idris goes, "Yes!" And just like finally notices that like people are probably staring at them. And, "Sorry. It's just a very fat, juicy frog, and no one else was claiming it, so I've don't mind me." As Idris goes over, picks up their knife that has the frog. I imagine it's like through their back, and their legs are just, the legs are up. Idris is going to try and sleight of hand the frog into their mouth to eat it.
It's a real serious moment, Idris. So there's... Josiah's not gonna notice. He's too in it right now.
Do I notice that your plate of food is untouched?
Oh, definitely.
Are you gonna finish that, Idris?
Here, you can have it.
Oh,
It
thank
doesn't
God.
sit well.
I will continue disgustingly eating this.
Everyone's seen you kill it. Everyone's seen you walk over there. And most people did not see you put it into your mouth. But as Akiri looks over his shoulder, you are like noodle slurping the last leg.
Look, Akiri, I'm not gonna pretend to be your dad here, or to be your friend here. I just killed your dad, technically, by what you're saying.
We killed
Actually,
your dad.
My friend over here technically killed him. But I've worked with people who are going through what you're going through. And I'm going to be honest, it sucks to work with someone who's doing what you're doing right now. So I'm just trying to help out around the monastery to pay back a little bit of what you guys did for me. And you seem like a rather influential figure here. So I figure helping you out is probably the best route for us. So you can take that as you will. Just know that I think you personally are going to be better off if you could just accept what's happened and learn to have a new normal.
I very much appreciate your words. He sets his plate down and then stands up. His plate's just on the floor in front of him. I will now spend my morning in meditation. May peace and joy and purpose find their ways into your lives.
And with you, yeah, whatever.
And he begins to leave this camp area.
That guy's a pussy.
I think they're processing in their own way. Emotions get in the way of progress.
I think we did pretty good with that guy.
A lizard folk man approaches, and he has with him a kobold, Kogaka, the lizard folk here.
I'm looking for Josiah Greatbarrel. Well, Abon is looking for Josiah Greatbarrel. I am escorting him through our camp.
Okay. Can I do it
Idris
before
is
I
pointing.
not seeing Idris pointing at me before I answer? Can I do an insight on them?
Yeah, give me a group insight if you wish.
Nice.
Idris, you see that the kobold behind Kraka, he stands tall, shoulders apart, good posture, perhaps has military training. They seem very steady and very focused. Josiah, although you got the lower roll, you have military training. You see, the outward appearance, but you can tell that this guy's shaken. He feels nervous. He feels maybe scared.
All right. Are we sitting on like benches or logs, or like what's the scene situation here?
Both the things you just said.
Okay. I think then Josiah will, whatever like plate or tray or whatever we have, I think he's going to set it to the side, and seeing that this is someone with more of like a military background kind of feel, he'll stand up, give a hand to chest kind of salute, and then stand at like a parade rest, like hands behind back and legs kind of apart. And I'm Josiah.
Kraka says,
All right, Abon. There he is.
he just takes a few steps back and, stays out of your business. He's still there for Abon if he needs to be escorted around, but he's just waiting in the outside camp. And Abon will take some steps towards you.
I am Abon. I was sent by somebody you may be familiar with. Perhaps we could speak in private, actually.
Just 1 second, Abon. Zanog, Idris, would you mind if I have a private word with Abon for a moment? Or would you rather be in on this? I specifically, Zanog, I know there's been some secrets, and I don't want to keep you out of the loop.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'd like to hear what he's got to say.
If these men are directly under command, I'm okay with sharing this.
And he's just.
Well, I wouldn't say under his command.
You see the clergyman getting uncomfortable.
Idris, Zanog, would you be fine accompanying me then? I feel we should take a step away. He's gonna kind of look at Abon as well and kind of like head nod towards the clergy, getting a bit nervous.
Then will stand up and put his 2 plates in the clergyman's lap, be like, "Hey, Dad, thanks," and start walking off with these guys.
I'll join as well. I'm done anyway.
How was it?
Was a little hoppy, but I liked it.
Oh, so a little bit like a earthy undertones.
It's very earthy.
I see. I like personally when I eat frog, I like to cook it first, and I like to put salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic on it as well.
I have a raw food diet.
You know, I've heard a lot about the raw food diet. I've heard that it's kind of been like the rave a little bit in Edifos. There was at least a couple years ago it was. We used to get people coming in all the time into the Griffin Spring. Oh, can I get my steak raw?
There is no time for this.
Well, that's just quite rude.
Yes, I was sent by a Master Sergeant Brigham to get your attention.
I think Josiah definitely stiffens up a little bit there at that. Maybe furrows his brow a bit. And you have it.
Yes, I asked him for a written letter, but he seemed opposed to having any physical contact. Recognizable anyways. He sent me personally. Your presence is requested at the Umber Hulk camp.
Is there a reason for the request?
There has been some unexpected changes to our inventory. Brigham said he wanted to speak to you directly, so you wouldn't, quote-unquote, go off on me.
I think Josiah might scratch his head a little bit. That sounds a lot like Brigham. Well, when you say there's been some unexpected changes in the inventory, I understand he probably didn't give you much insight. What was the tone of his voice when he was saying that? Brigham is a very subtle man in many ways, but you can know a lot about how important something is based on his tone. Was it a lot like this the whole time? And Josiah's gonna like cover one eye when he does it, like mocking him a little. Was it a lot like this, or was it more like this?
Both of those sounded the same to me. I haven't honestly known him long.
All right. Well, I guess it's got to be important either way. Don't know how soon we can get back. Now, one second. I think he's gonna. Josiah will turn back to Idris and Zanag. How opposed to making I will say it's about a day and a half from here, journey, and then we can be off on our way towards our previously agreed course. I will say that Brigham wouldn't call me personally out unless it was rather important.
I mean, if it's on the way.
I'm fine with it. I'm more than happy to see what your forces look like.
But wonderful. If you guys are not opposed, then we'll make a quick stop at my camp, and then we'll be on our way towards our goal.
Gather your things. Let's get started.
Are we traveling with you?
Well, we're headed to the same location. Why wouldn't we travel together?
You have like a cart or something?
I mean, we have a shield.
That's all we got is a sleigh.
We got a little bit of like a sled situation. Abon, do you have an actual cart? It'd be nice not have to sit, on the saddle the whole time.
Before I left Edifos, before I abandoned the military, I did spend a pretty penny on this. And you see him, he has a rolled up textile on his back, and he kind of whips it out and unrolls, and snaps at the end. The whole thing's not much bigger than him. He lets go of it, and it begins to drift in the wind as he reveals to you he has a magic flying carpet.
Is that a flying carpet?
It was not cheap.
I can't imagine it was. Idris, have you seen one of these?
We had a 10-day break between our scouting missions. Everybody was partying, and I was sitting off to the side, clutching my carpet.
My
flying
Well,
rug.
I've seen one of these before, but never this close. What's it made out of?
Carpet.
Yeah, but is it like, are we talking like Argosian, Argosian thread?
I did not make this. The thread probably would have come from Valmoda.
Oh, Valmodan thread.
That explains why it's so soft. Reminds me of home.
Abon climbs the top of it and sits cross-legged, and he says,
I hope you're able to keep up with me. If
No
not,
way.
if not, I can just inform that you're headed that way.
Oh, I mean,
I'll do the signal, whatever it is, like whoop whoop, and then the fucking crawler will be like,
you hear the ground begin to rumble and shake. The tree roots are beginning to get ripped out and pushed out of the ground. And the tamed crag crawler pops up just behind... Yeah, behind Zanogami at the command. All the clergymen around the fire pit, they assume different combat stances and begin...
Hey, put your fists down over there, you bunch of sissies! It's with me!
And then the crawler goes...
Yeah,
that was really good.
yeah.
And then
I can picture a crawler doing that. That was really nice.
it uses its front arm and starts rubbing off its eyes to finally open them after being underground.
I start scratching the carapace, just like
Oh man,
It-
would that sound like
Purrs.
nice.
scratching the carapace? Would that be like scratching like a chalkboard? I mean, they're... Ugh.
You've touched a beetle, right?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I generally go out of my way to not touch bugs.
I imagine it's like
similar to
the-
fingernails.
Yeah. Or also, if it's that big, like that bed liner stuff that they put on the back of trucks that has like a little bit of texture.
Oh,
So it's just like,
yeah, it's
Right, yeah.
I'm not down with this. Can one more person fit on the rug?
That would not be wise. It wouldn't remain a flying carpet if we added much more weight.
All right. Well, I think Josiah again scratches his head a little bit in embarrassment and goes, I guess I'll be attached to the sled. This is a great way for a general to meet.
Oh, you down real tight.
Great. All right.
Whatever
All
it takes. And you have a mount of your own. We could be there by nightfall.
And now, a message from today's sponsor. If we had any.
Are you looking to put some spruce back in your rust bucket step? Does your automaton need some fresh oil to get them going in the morning? Well, come on down to Fantastic Pete's Automaton Fix-It Emporium. We can just about fix everything. Have a justice unit who can't swing a sword or a farm bot who can't plow the field? We'll bring them on down to Fantastic Pete's Automaton Fix-It Emporium. For mentioning this ad, we'll give you a 20% discount on all oil changes, hydraulic diagnostics, and high-gloss finish. Or if you just need an oil change for your robot, we can do that for a low price of $3.99 of gold. So, come on down, bring your robot friend for a tune-up. While you're here, make sure to stock up on Fantastic Pete's synthetic blend of Warforged motor oil. We only serve the best here at Fantastic Pete's, and when you're here, your family.
We're located just off exit 17 on Road 37. Located just inside Valmoda across from the Wonderland Cat Emporium and Acupuncture Clinic. Keep an eye out for our mascot Pepper and Pete, the steel golem, as he'll wave you on in. And remember, when you're here, your family.
Any other affairs before trekking?
just need to talk to Akiri.
You may
Yeah.
go do so.
Awesome. So I guess me and Sanag are getting our shit together and I guess we'll be waiting with a bond for Idris.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever supplies the monastery is willing to offer, we'll take.
Not much. They're self-sufficient.
Yeah.
In a very Vimuros.
And we're not.
In a very Vimurosian fashion, everybody has just enough. As everybody continues towards the regular exit of the Monster Monastery, Idris, you stop by the kitchen where you find Akiri doing chores.
Just walking in, naturally stealthy. I imagine they're a monk. They can probably still hear me.
Kiri, I need to speak with you.
Do you close the door behind you?
Slowly and menacingly, for no good reason.
You lock yourself in the kitchen, which is you and Akiri. Hello. What is it?
I know we sadly murdered your father, head priest, friend of me thing.
We felt the energies in the room. He was dead before there was any combat.
Well, I'm glad we're on good terms then. I feel horrible about having to do that. But I have some questions.
Carry on.
I have a serious affliction. You might be able to see
As I remove my cowl,
Mm-hmm.
again, bald, no eyebrows, little scaly head.
I was wondering if you knew any way to reverse this.
One moment.
He begins to cast message. You know, you see him doing some spell work. Slight glowing of the palms, slight glowing around his mouth as he's speaking out these words.
During that time, while watching that, Idris would have to fight back the internal suspicion, like,
Okay.
He's contacting someone.
Nice.
We'll be ambushed.
Idris kind of like moves towards the side of the door in case anyone comes in to like surprise attack them.
Okay. He's going to walk past you and lead the way.
Please, follow me to the monastery.
Cowl back up, follows behind.
You guys enter the monastery.
Take your place on this altar. Lie down, if you would. Relax all that you can.
As
Then
Idris like lays down, they can't quite relax because again something in their heads just like,
Just stab him. Just stab him and run. Just stab him. You can stab him right underneath the jaw. Right out his throat.
and Idris has to like force themselves to try and relax.
We are down one of our best. We have less hands here now than before. We will do what we can. Let's get started.
They begin chanting as they did over Josiah. This is going to continue for about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, at the Monster Monastery exit...
I think Josiah then's tying himself to the sled.
At least you get the lady.
Well, you don't trust me doing it?
No.
Fair point.
I didn't have to think about that.
I like break a piece off of rations and I split it in half. I put half of it in your mouth because you're tied to the thing, and the other half I feed to the crawler.
Oh, so that's what we're doing.
Very good.
Force feeding Josiah.
Man, I bet Idris is having a really good talk right now with Akiri.
Oh, that guy's a Debbie Downer.
Yeah. The clergy around just like, oh no,
They're chanting. There's a light glow in the room.
Eyes glowing.
Yeah, eyes glowing, palms glowing, mom's spaghetti.
I'm
Idris
sweaty.
is levitating about half of a foot off the top of that.
Oh, there goes gravity.
it failed.
And the chanting comes to an abrupt stop all at once. You are gently laid back down. Akira is winded. The two clergymen are winded. They have completely spent all of their magical energy for the day on this one ritual just now.
You, my friend, have something deeper than we can access. If you truly wish to save yourself from your affliction, you might have to go directly to the Gonimian temples.
Man, it's really taking Idris a while. What do you think they're talking about?
I don't know, maybe he stopped taking a shit.
I guess
He did eat a raw frog right off the ground.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Hey, look, I've eaten worse. That shit worse.
What have you eat? What have you eaten?
My guy, I was in the hole. I don't know where they put you. You might have had the princess suite.
I mean, I was in a hole, but not. I mean, you were in the hole.
The hole, the one with the single chain elevator.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's bad.
You see where you were at. I was 2 floors up from there.
Right, the princess suite.
Is that what you guys called it down there?
There was nobody else down there. That's what I called it.
Oh, okay. So it was just you. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. Cause that sucked.
Yeah, mine definitely was not the best either.
Oh well, at least you got to choose what you were eating.
Yeah, sure. Let's put it that way.
Imagine there's one monk who's just like overhearing this as they're talking and be like, tries to join in. Like, yeah, I was in prison once too.
Yeah, show me your brand.
Well, I don't have a brand. I mean, it was just intoxication.
Oh, okay.
That's not-
Lightweight, get out of here.
You would have to tell him that's not prison, that was just jail. You don't get out of prison
It
without
was
a
really
brand.
rough. I got beat up that night.
I'll beat you up right now.
Oh, well, never mind. I'm a pacifist and all. So, I'm gonna go my duties. But good talk, everybody. Good talk.
Yeah.
How does being a pacifist mean that you don't get beat up? I love that Josiah is like tied up to the cart right now. How's being a pacifist?
Completely like tied down.
His arms are out to the side, like tied down.
I'll beat you up right now. Nah, I'm a pacifist. That was so beautiful.
Josiah and Zanog essentially have the equivalent of teardrops tattooed. You know what I mean? Like,
No, get it. See, he's passing on the fist, so he doesn't want to get beat up.
oh Jesus.
I'm staring.
So anyways, what is Idris's reaction to being told you have to go to the highest temple of the land?
Somewhere in Idris's mind is like,
They're useless. What purpose are they? Nothing was done. They're just horrible monks. You just murder them and take their things.
Idris, without saying anything to them, just firmly plants their fist on the table. Barely moves. Doesn't even move the table. More like a loud knock.
Okay.
Okay. Damien Temple it is.
You have a couple of whiskers in your mustache area right now that weren't there before.
Oh, like my normal mustache.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you have
A few little whiskeys.
you haven't grown hair in quite a while. Man, what's that guy's name? He played Scott Pilgrim.
Michael Cera.
Oh,
Yeah, you got a Michael Cera mustache.
you just wouldn't know this yet.
Correct.
Peach Fuzz.
That's just going to be the visual representation that they helped a little bit.
At that point, you just would start outside more of a kind of, oh, we're done, and be frustrated. Coming upon Josiah and Sanog, seeing this, their eyes would go wide and be like, I didn't know you were into that kind of play.
Well.
What are you talking about?
I mean, how else am I gonna ride?
Well, a St. Andrew's cross. Never mind.
A what?
What fucking kind of terrain were you in?
A very eclectic and opening one.
That's disgusting. Let's get out of here.
Zanog, what's he talking about?
I have no fucking clue. Nice Peach Fuzz mustache, by the way.
Wait, what? Who?
You.
Me? Oh. It's so soft.
That it is. Let's go.
Right, Zanog is at the helm of the crawler. Idris, there's an open spot of the saddle behind Zanog, and then Josiah is tied down to a tower shield. Aban is attempting to lead the way via his flying carpet, staying about 15 feet ahead of the crawler. Before we begin our travels, let's take a quick intermission, so we may empty and fill our bodies as needed.
Sounds great.
Gonna empty my whole body.
Next time on Venture into Vimuros.
That's a rather personal question. Last I checked, you don't have to do this.
I am the commanding officer of a scouting party. In the Outlands, the law is mine to decide.
Oh, interesting. Can I get your name again?
Commander Vishrim.